I think when I grew up, there was no name for it, but I had a lot of trouble in school. I did very badly in school. I failed class 7, everything. I could never memorize lines. And so for someone like me in comedy, that was a real setback, a real drawback. Even before I do a stand-up comedy show, I have to spend hours and hours, no matter how many times I do it, kind of going over my lines. And so what is one of those things, Soraya, that really kind of hinders you and holds you back when you do comedy?
Honestly, when it comes to stand-up, especially, I think this is the exact problem that I have. I was also like terrible at school. Honestly, I was really bad, and I feel like memorizing, I can never do it. And it's one of those things that if you really want to nail like your stand-up set, maybe like I think you need to be able to do that, and I can't do that. Every time it's a different version of like the joke, in some way, and also the nerves. Like after I have the mic, I'm okay, but like the initial like going up on stage is always like, I've had like a bad reputation for just backing out last minute or putting my name on the list and then taking it off and then not doing it and then half doing it and preparing like a 10-minute set and doing like 5 minutes and leaving, and it's really like tough. And that's what people don't understand, that there's a difference between like just being really funny and being a comic, right? Because that's a job, right? And like it takes work, and it kind of really holds you back when you can't like memorize things perfectly, or you forget things on stage and stuff like that. So that's one of the things.
And Hassaan, what kind of is that difficult thing that would always hold you back in your comedy?
Man, what would hold me back was like this desire to, be like a straight up stand-up comic, which is कि even stand-up comics का भी मसला सारा ये होता है कि they're purists. They're like कि it needs to be one man, one mic, facing the audience, looking into the abyss and really like landing those jokes, ha ha ha. That's the kind of imagery that is sold to you as a comic, that it's you against the world, it's you against an audience. And I was just like, this is just too much pressure. So I'm just like कि कभी मेरा रैप करने का दिल चाहेगा तो मैं रैप करूँगा, कभी मेरा कोई stupid बात करने का दिल चाहेगा वो करूँगा. तो बस allowing myself to what I'm feeling in the moment and just like going with the flow has really helped, as opposed to trying to control every aspect. So I have a question for you, Saad bhai. Now you've been doing comedy for like quite a while.
Yes.
And mashallah, you have like so many hours of material, and we look up to you still. So does it ever get easier, man?
No. I mean, yes, in a way it does get easier. But also, the more comedy you do, the more expectations of the audience grow. But the audience doesn't seem to change in Pakistan sometimes. A lot of times they'll be on their phones during a performance or a talk, when it's really rude. But they'll still be on their phones. That happens. Hint, hint, uncle up there. I see you. He just put down his phone. Like I can't see it, like behind the chair. He just put down his phone. But no, I think that it does get very difficult, and also, and since you guys have come to hear us talk, I hope that you'll take this to heart and also tell the people that you go to other talks and performances too, that it's difficult to do comedy, it's difficult to come up on stage and talk and everything like that. So just like, as performers, we're not given the respect, and we put in the hard work and we put in the effort, but we're not given the respect that a lot of times that comes with doing something like this. And so I hope that, and this isn't a lecture, this is kind of like a heartfelt kind of thing, that if you want more of these talks and more of these festivals and everything, you got to kind of be the people who do that. And that uncle's texting again. Can you see, like, during my speech, he's texting again. I can't believe it. You see, it's just one of those things, like you just can't, like, people are like, why are there more comedians in Pakistan? Oh, why aren't there more audiences in Pakistan, who will respect us, but they won't,
I think...
No, sorry.
No, go on.
No, please.
I think it also comes from misunderstanding comedy completely, right? It's not even... people forget that, comedy comes from writing just like any other kind of literature or anything like that, right? And I feel like it's not meant to be taken seriously, of course, but it is meant to be taken seriously because it's just another way of expression, right? And I feel like there's this disconnect between understanding like where a comedian is coming from with a joke, like what the origin of something you've said is, and like I feel like there's a disconnect there because it's not taken seriously as like a thing that people do, right? It's more of like, oh, that guy's funny in the group, he can probably just
Yeah, I have. I mean, yeah, I wrote a joke about this in the middle. Like, you know, when I started comedy, people ask me, "What do you do?" I say, "Oh, I'm a comedian." Then they probably be like, "Okay, what does your father do then?" You know, like they thought that where's the money coming from?
Yeah.
This cannot be a profession as such, and we still fight for that respect every time we get on stage and every time we do something. But we also wear it as a badge of honor. You know, we wear it as a badge of honor that we've been, you know, kind of pushed to do
Survived
this that much and.